Hi, welcome to Inspired by Pinterest. I'm Lori Allred, and I am super excited to be back. I know I took a little time off this summer, had to do a week-long girls camp in the woods, but anyway, I'm back and excited to share with you some fun ideas. I did not stop pinning, though. I want you to know you can still go to my boards and get some great ideas. I think I'm up to about 13,000 pins, but yes, I do actually craft some of those pins, so I don't feel super guilty about it. So today I am excited. This is actually a 3-part series. I had so much fun playing with polymer clay that I couldn't fit it all into one show. So today is the first of a 3-part series. About every couple weeks I'll introduce a new topic. So today we're going to actually be talking about polymer clay and molds. So first of all, let me show you this amazing pin I saw on Pinterest that caught my eye, and this is kind of how I got hooked. It's this beautiful pin. It was actually linked back to the blog for Create Paper, which is a scrapbook company that I love, and it's owned by American Crafts. They do beautiful, amazing products. And this pin only showed a glimpse of the layout, and it actually had this beautiful frame mold right on the pin, and that caught my eye instantly. I'm like, I want to know what that is. So I clicked over to the blog, and this beautiful layout appeared that's created by Shanna Noel from their design team, and it is stunning. And I just loved how that adorable mold that she created with Sculpey clay and this fun mold totally made her layout. So I'm going to show you how easy these molds are and how much fun you can have with them. First, let's look at a few more pins before we get busy, because I'm super excited about this topic. These pins are amazing. Let's talk a little bit about handmade polymer clay projects versus molds. Now, this first pin I'm going to show you is actually from a kind of a daily deal site for handmade products. It's called stealsdealsandheels.blogspot.com. Cute products on that site, but of course the deal has since come and gone. I believe this was from last year, but this bracelet is stunning. It had to be pinned. And these are actually handmade flowers. But a lot of the flowers look very similar to molds that I've purchased. And then again, another one that I absolutely fell in love with from that site is this beautiful ring. So I had to make my own ring, so I made this beautiful red rose ring, super simple with the molds. And I'm going to tell you the #1 best resource for great molds is moldmuse.com, or you can Google Mold Muse, M-U-S-E, on Google, and it'll take you to her Etsy shop. Now, all of my molds are from Mold Muse. They're silicone based, so love them. So the greatest thing about these silicone molds is you can place your polymer clay right in it. You can pop it out and then cook them, or you can actually go ahead and just leave the clay in them. And they create these stunning images. Now, you can't tell from that how amazingly beautiful that clay mold is. And I have just had a ball playing with these. Now, practical uses aside from scrapbooking and my cute ring, I went ahead and made some adorable earrings. Aren't these cute? Those are gonna make great gifts when I need to pull something out at the last minute. And I have just had so much fun. I've got to go buy more molds. And then this beautiful necklace. I just love this ragged flower, petal flower, and how different it looked depending on which clay you put in. I went ahead and punched a hole through it before I cooked it, and it made this beautiful necklace. I'm super excited. I think I have Christmas gifts figured out. So let's get busy and talk a little bit about polymer clay. Now, I did try a couple different brands. I will tell you right now, flat out, I love Sculpey. I'm not going to recommend another brand because I didn't have much luck using other brands. Now, you might see this brand in the craft store. It says Primo. It's actually a Sculpey product. Typically, it has a glitter or some type of extra additive into it. It's not a flat color. And I really love this as well because it's a Sculpey product. Not super crazy about other ones out there, so forgive me, but the ones I tried didn't work out well. You're going to want a conditioning machine. Your hands get really tired. You need to condition your clay in order to make it pliable so that you can go ahead and put it in the molds. And so this looks like a pasta machine. Some people have purchased pasta machines right off of eBay or picked them up at the thrift store. And the handle comes off typically right in the middle of when I'm filming. But it goes right on like this. You can pick this up at a Hobby Lobby, use your 40% off coupon. You're gonna wanna take your polymer clay and you're gonna kind of shove it in there and turn the handle. And you're gonna have to do this a few times in order to make that clay soft and easy to use. You kind of got to push it down like a potato. Now, my kids love doing this part, so I usually give them the clay and make them condition it, but it's actually a little addictive. After a while, I want to sit there and keep making clay, and it comes out the bottom. Just keep adding it back to the top. Now, I do this a few times until the clay is really easy to work with. It's just so much easier. I originally did it without the clay conditioning machine, and I mean, your hands get really sore. It takes on the color typically. Now, one of the tips about using a conditioning machine is don't go from a dark color to a light color and not expect some transfer. So I'm using this red. If I were to run a white through it, I'm probably going to pick up some of the white. I mean, the red on the white. If you like that look, that's great. Otherwise, run like a piece of clay through it that you don't care about. Kind of pick up all that transfer color until you get it off. So it makes a really nice 1/4 inch sheet. Now, Sculpey needs to be baked at 275 for a half hour for every 1/4 inch thick. So this I would just bake, if I wanted to leave it in that form, about a half hour. And I played around with the timing. Just don't overcook it. I understand it will actually burn, but I didn't have that problem. So now that I've got that condition, I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to pick a mold that I think has the greatest impact. I like to roll it around, get a little warmed up, even though we've conditioned a little. And you're going to go ahead and just start putting pieces of that clay right inside of the mold and press it down. Now, would you want to cook it in the mold or take it out? I'll tell you, these small baby roses, hard to get out when they're still not cooked. I really deformed a lot of them with my fingers, trying to get them in there and out of the mold. So the more detailed and the smaller the mold, I would cook them in the mold. I just like that it held its detail really well. Now these larger ones, I could pop them out without any problem. You can even turn them over and press down. Get really creative. All you need to do to pop them out is kind of bend it, kind of loosen it up a little bit. Now they do have a mold release spray. Armor All is actually the same spray, but look how easy that came out. Now be sure to poke a hole in it if you were going to use it for a necklace before you cook it. Very hard to poke a hole through it after. So say I wanted to put my necklace right about here. I'm just going to take my little tool, make that hole, and I would cook it either on a old baking sheet or even an old tile. This is just a tile that I cook a lot on, and that fits right in my little toaster oven. Now they do say not to do a lot of cooking of Sculpey clay in your normal oven because of the fumes. I did it. Don't tell my husband. We're still alive now. But it's recommended to get your own little oven to cook that in. So you can do as much as you want. You can start mixing colors. This one I dropped a pink color in over the white. Had a lot of fun. Now once you baked them, they're hard, which I love. And then some of them are shiny, some are dull. This would show you the difference. These both are baked. This one I coated with a coating. This one I left. I think they look beautiful both ways. A couple of different coatings you can use. You can buy a liquid varnish at the craft store. Sculpey does make a coating. I also love glossy accents. I use it all the time for scrapbooking. It works well for polymer clay as well. And then again, my good old-fashioned standby, Pledge Floor Shine. It's great, especially if you can buff it and add a second layer. It's cheap. I already had it in my craft room. You'll find out later in other episodes what I use it for, and it works great as well. The other thing I might mention before you cook it, well, after you cook it, right after it gets out of the oven and you can touch it, you're going to have little stray pieces along the edge that you're going to want to sand off or trim off. I love this tool from Imaginess. This came in really handy. It's the De-Stress tool, and it has different tips in the inside, and I just needed the sanding tip, and it has that rotating tip. So it was great to just take it along the edge and sand off those little strays that I didn't want anymore. Easier to do before it really hardens up after a couple of days. So do it after you take it out of the oven. Go along the edges, make sure you get that stray taken away, and you'll be good to go. So that's the first. Try your hand-up molds. The molds are very inexpensive. They range less than $10 depending on the mold you pick, and she ships super, super fast. So give them a try. Let me know what you think. I'd love for you to visit my blog at allreddesign.net. Share your thoughts on polymer clay, and any pin or any reference I mentioned today on the show will be on my blog today. So I'm excited that I got to share this with you. Be sure to join me in a couple weeks when I share some fun tips on how to stamp on clay. But next week, we're going to actually be talking about etched glass. Thanks for joining me.